Have you ever buried a good idea? Maybe you had something to say, a project to launch, or a conversation you needed to start, but you stopped yourself just at the edge. Not because you lacked the skill, but because you were worried about what people might think. We usually tell ourselves a very comforting story when this happens. We call it humility. Or we convince ourselves that we are being strategic, carefully waiting for the exact right moment to act. That hesitation is actually fear, and every time we let it dictate our choices, we're training our brains that the safest option is to stay exactly where we are, which makes the next step feel even heavier. Look at this flowchart. This is the equation most of us grow up believing. We think we have to check off the box labeled feeling confident before we can follow the arrow toward taking action. But there is a mechanical flaw here. If you wait for a biological green light, a sudden surge of fearlessness, you might be waiting forever. Your brain isn't naturally wired to feel comfortable when you're stepping into the unknown. Relying on that emotional permission slip guarantees you'll stay stuck. You spend all your time preparing, but you never actually execute. We tend to think that successful people are simply built without a fear response. But the truth is much simpler. They were just as scared as you are. Confidence isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a decision. It's the choice to move forward even when your knees are shaking and you don't have all the answers yet. To build it, we reverse the equation. Taking action comes first, and confidence follows. Doing the thing, even imperfectly, generates the feeling. The action proves the risk didn't break you, triggering the confidence you were waiting for. This is the real definition of bravery. It isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling that weight of uncertainty and choosing to walk forward anyway. People who look confident have simply practiced the mechanics of acting while they are terrified. When your heart races or your voice shakes, your first instinct is to see it as a stop sign. But watch what happens when that warning shape morphs into a compass needle. Those physical symptoms are biological data. They are telling you that the event in front of you is significant enough to actually change your life. Treat your fear as a navigational tool, and you'll see that the intensity of your anxiety points directly toward the milestones you need to cross. If you run from that fear, you're running away from your own growth. The fear is the map. Think about the safest person you know, the one who avoids risks and waits for the perfect plan before ever making a move. On the surface, it looks like a win. They avoid immediate risks, like failing or looking foolish. They feel secure. But look at the long-term math. The jagged line shows the path of action. It's full of mistakes, but it trends upward. The smooth line shows the safe path. It has no dips, but it eventually curves downward as missed opportunities compound. No one is going to show up and give you a permission slip to start. That responsibility belongs to you alone. Playing it safe is actually the highest risk you can take. It guarantees that the person you could have become stays out of reach. To fix this, you need a daily framework that forces you to bypass your own hesitation. Rule 1 is micro-bravery. Do one small, uncomfortable thing every day. Speak first in a meeting or send that difficult message. You're training your brain to act before fear stops you. Rule 2 is feedback over permission. Stop asking for approval before you start. Build your project, put it out there, and listen to the feedback only after you've taken the action. Rule 3, speak through the tremor. Share your truth even when your voice shakes. A shaking voice that actually speaks is always more effective than a silent one that stays comfortable. Confidence is an architecture built from the ground up. You build it brick by brick, one fearful action at a time. You don't need to wait for the feeling. Take the step that scares you today and watch what happens to your life.